Hi, Kia listeners. Let's learn Sumo. Welcome to the podcast. Don't forget to join me on Instagram or X. And you can stream this podcast on your normal podcast streaming service, Apple or Spotify, one of those. Or you can join me on YouTube as well, where I'll podcast in between the U Show and try to hit different days in the U Show race as well. Unfortunately, yes, I know I've been missing for a few days. Life gets in the way. Let's move on. It is the end of the Basho, and we have a result. Onosato, our first Shin Sanyaku, our new Sanyaku. He's the first one in 67 years to win the Yusho. After Takeru Fuji is the first debutant to win in 110 years. So we still have another weird result coming up after our Ozekis and Yokozunas all fell away. So, Onosato, 3 consecutive double-digit records in Makuchi. His Ozeki run is now live after punching out 12 wins in this Basho. Look, he's got great balance, he's got strength, he's got speed. Against RB, he just needed to win tonight to win the Yusho outright. So who was close on day 15? Well, Onosato only needed to win tonight against RB to win it outright. But if he lost against RB tonight, Hoshoryu, our Ozeki, and Korozakura, our Ozeki, had the chance against each other. Either one of those guys win, that puts them on 11 wins, which would force a playoff. Tonight actually had the chance of a four-way playoff if and only if Onosato lost. So Daisho, he was on 10 wins looking to fight against Kotoshoho. Abi was facing Onosato, and if he won, that would have put him on 11 wins. And obviously Kotozakura and Hoshoryu were on 10 wins each. Either one of those winning against each other would have put them at 11, and a four-way playoff. That would have been very interesting, if only I was looking forward to that. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but I am very happy for Onosato to get his first win. He nearly won early in the year, but yes, Takeru Fuji pipped him at the post. So let's quickly have a look at Daisho versus Koroshoho. Daisho, it was a really good fight. Daisho had a big hit and he was under pressure and he got pushed back to the bales a couple of times, but he really did deliver some big thrusts and he escaped as Koroshoho. He grabbed his arm and pulled him down. He was a bit unbalanced. Daisho got the win. Hiki Atoshi, it was a good win. Onosato then came up against Abi. Look, Onosato, he was super fast. He had great balance. Abi came out of the touchy eye. He was thrusting hard and basically tried to push him back. Onosato got a great hit on the side of his shoulder, pushed Abi sideways and got a grip and pushed him over the bales. That got him the Yusho, which then made the last fight of the night, Hoshoryu versus Kotozakura, basically null and void. Hoshoryu and Kotozakura, they each got a belt grip, and I thought Hoshoryu had the strength to pull Kotozakura around, but Kotozakura gave up the belt and went for the arm lock and threw Hoshoryu around. It was really smart sumo. Got Tanage win, a massive pile of envelopes for Kotozakura, which left him on 11 wins. So how did we get here? Well, Onosato, he got a Kinboshi, if we remember. He beat Terunofuji with a fantastic Sukiyanage throw. It drove Terunofuji back to the bales. Terunofuji doesn't mind getting pushed back to the bales. He got a double locked arm on Onosato, but Onosato resisted where others have not, and he rolled the Yokozuna over for his first Kinboshi star. Great win day one. Day two, he lost to Takayasu, the big bear, the big hairy bear. He just couldn't get a grip. Takayasu got a good drive, and Onosato, he tried for the slap down, but he kept getting driven back, and he stepped out backwards under pressure. Day 3, he beat Tobizaru Yorikiri. Day 4, he beat Sekiwake, Wakamoto Haru, Sukiyotoshi diagonal pull down. He went for a hard thrusting, tried to lift Wakamoto Haru's centre of gravity up, but Wakamoto Haru got a good double belt and forced him back to the bales. Day 4, he beat a very underpowered Kirishima. It was their first meeting. Kirishima went for the belt on the front. Onosato went for the rear, moved to the bales, and Kirishima went over first. Onosato was pushing hard there. They both went into the air. Mono-e, Onosato won that one. Day 6, he faced Korazakura and got a win over him. It's their third meeting. Korazakura, Onosato was sensible and he waited for Korazakura at the tachi-ai, got a normal tachi-ai, both got a belt grip. Korazakura had a left outside grip and started going backwards. I think he was looking for the Watanage, and Onosato kept up the pressure. Korazakura ran out of space of time for a Yorikiri, and Onosato got the win. Beat Atami Fuji with a Shitata Dashinage. Atami Fuji had him on the ropes, locked him up. Onosato, he was back on the Tawara, but under pressure, he disengaged, pulled him down at the last minute. Underarm pulling, throwdown, great win. Now remember, Day 8, this was a great match versus Daisho. Megashira won, but former Sekiwake. I call it the Ole match, because Daisho went for the big dive. Onosato absorbed a big hit. Daisho tried for the big double arm. Hikiyatoshi missed. Daisho dragged his arms back, did a big reset and dived forward. Onosato saw it coming, lifted the red cape, bullfighter style. Daisho did the big Superman, missed entirely into thin air and fully extended over the bales. Remember, over the bales like Superman without his undies. It was really good sumo sense by Onosato for that win. Day 9, he lost to Hiradumi. Hiradumi's really improved this tournament. Day 10, Gonayama, he beat Gonayama. Day 11, he lost. Remember, it was a big match, this one. Hoshoryu. Hoshoryu got the belt grip off the tachi-ai and threw Onosato in a spectacular flip. Shitatanage over his back leg to lift Onosato for a really good win. He beat one of our Yusho contenders, Takara Fuji. Takara Fuji looked really tired in the last couple of days. Just didn't seem to have the same sort of zip that he had early in the tournament. Remember, 15 days, it's a long tournament. Some of these guys just run out of power. Day 13 versus our hapless Ura. Ura tried a left hand in and Onosato yeeted Ura from the ring. I call it the new one, Yeetanage. Poor old Ura, he went flying. Day 14 against Shonanumi, Oshidashi Onosato forced him out fairly easily, and today, day 15, he made easy work of Abe. So that was Onosato's journey to the Yusho win. His dad was in the crowd tonight, and some emotion after he won the Basho. His local crowd on the NHK feed really very happy up in his prefecture. So good on him. That's his first one. I think you'll find that Onosato will make his way to Ozeki, and I can see him being around for a long time. He has the strength. He certainly has the stamina to get through 15 days, as he's shown over a couple of Bashos now. He's basically punching out double figures every time he comes up to the bales after a year in sumo. Young, no injuries. I see him going a long way. Let's have a look at our other Ozekis and Sekiwakes and see how they fared. Our Ozeki Hoshoryu, look, a couple of losses early to Atami Fuji. Abe kind of wasn't a great start to the tournament for him, but then he beat Daisho, beat Hiradumi, beat Gonayama, beat Tobizaru. Some really good wins there and showed his Ozeki power. Got into a little bit more trouble as he got further in. He lost to Oho, and that's one match he really shouldn't have lost. Lost to Takayasu Sukinage, and then obviously went on day 10 to day 15, won against Onosho and Onosato, Mitakayumi, Midori Fuji, and Oshoma, and then lost tonight to Kotazakura. Hoshoryu had his chances and lost a couple of key matches that really shouldn't have lost early. Kotazakura, again, lost some key matches that really shouldn't have gone against him. So he started the tournament with a loss to Daisho. He'll be ruining that one. Missed the grip at the Tachiai, a little bit nervous, and the threshing drove him out. Beat Atami Fuji, Hiradumi, Gonayama, Tobizaru, Onosato, or beat Ura, which was a big match on day 7. That started Ura's fall. Beat Oho, Onosho, and then lost to the big bear, Takayasu, Biga Watanabe. Day 11, he beat Meisei, then he beat Wakamoto Haru, Tsukinage throw. Beat Shononumi. Now, this is a funny one here. He did a big dirty Henko, if we remember, on day 13 against Shononumi. I just don't understand why he would do that to a lower-ranked wrestler. Then he lost to Abi yesterday, day 14. Bit of karma maybe for the Henker. He absorbed Abi's thrusting, drove him back to the edge. Abi got hold of Kotazakura's arm and tried to pull him past as he moved. Kotazakura was under pressure with his back to the bales, and Abi took advantage and forced him out. Little bit of karma there, I would suggest. Anyway, then he beat Hoshoryu tonight in a pretty good fight. Hoshoryu gave it up there. Wakamoto Haru, he'll find himself back in Mega Shira next tournament after posting a Make Koshi, which is a bit of a shame. Missed a couple of days in the middle of the tournament and came back to post a 4-win, 8-loss and 3 absentees. Not good enough for him. Abi, our other Seki Wake, did well at the end of this tournament. He's really found himself in a little bit of form. Did get a Fusensho win over the injured Wakamoto Haru, but certainly came along as this tournament went, showed some pretty good form as he went through it. He was in the race right to the last day. So day 12, we last saw in day 11, he beat Onosho. Day 12, he beat Shononumi, Oshidashi, dominated him with a big Nodowa thrust. Day 13, beat Meisei, big Tsukiyatoshi. We'll come back to that in a moment. Meisei had Abi under the pressure back to the bales, and Abi went lateral and pulled Meisei down with a pretty fantastic, well, what I thought was a Kotanage arm lock. I thought it was a pretty good move. The announcer in the ring called it a Kotanage. Somehow all the stats sites and the Sumo app now call it a Tsukiyatoshi. So I don't know what it was. I still think it was a Kotanage. The ring announcer called it a Kotanage. It is what it is. Day 14, yesterday, he was up against Ozeki Kotazakura. Like I said, a little bit of karma for the Henker, and he beat Kotazakura. Daisho has made his way back into the winner's circle, and he again was one of the ones who was in the running for the Yusho. If Onosato lost tonight, he had himself 10 wins and could have easily made himself in the playoffs with a win against Kuroshoho tonight. And if Onosato lost, however, day 12, he lost to Meisei. Look, this was a really good fight. Meisei just had a couple of really good recoveries. Daisho, the big threshing machine, had it going, had Meisei back to the bales. Meisei moved laterally to escape a couple of times, nearly went over forward. Daisho took advantage and got him back to the bales again on the other side. Meisei resisted for a second time, went on a thrusting attack, and a bit of misdirection got him out. Tsukidashi for Meisei against Daisho. It's a really good win if you want to watch that one. Day 12, Meisei versus Daisho. Beat Mitakayumi, which is not a hard thing to do on day 13. Mitakayumi is obviously injured. Day 14, this was a difficult fight for Meisei against Takayasu, the big bear. I had it down as a really scrappy win by a Daisho, and I've watched it a couple of times, and it was scrappy, but Daisho really kind of had to work hard for it. Takayasu played Daisho's game and came hard with the Sapari thrusting attacks. Daisho was a little bit unbalanced at one point, but he kept his own threshing at key moments at Takayasu's shoulders, and he got Takayasu slightly turned, gave a big shove on the back of his shoulder, which got Takayasu back to the bales, knocked the Gyoji slipper off, and Daisho finished him off with a shove. So a really pretty good win there by Daisho, and that will see him back to Sekiwake next tournament. So what of some of our early tournament leaders? Takara Fuji, he is a bit of an old stager. He's been around a long way, but I just, like, you look at his fights over the last couple of days, he just ran out of steam. Day 12, he lost to Onosato. It was a really fast and dominant defeat by Onosato, drove him back to bales. He was done. Day 13, he lost to Kinbozan. Kinbozan's thrusting attack, aided by a bit of a forearm to the jaw, and it shoved Takara Fuji back. Takara Fuji retreated across the Tawara, but Kinbozan remained in pursuit. He stayed fairly low and thrust him out. That was Kinbozan's Kachikoshi Sukiadashi. Day 14, he did win against Kotoshoho. Look, a really good, strong Sapari forward movement. But I did think he was a little bit slow off the tachiai. You could see that he had certainly started to run out of power. He did get a good win against Kotoshoho, but yeah, a little bit slow, a little bit not really there. And on day 15, he'd certainly run out of power because Hokuto Fuji got a fairly easy Oshidashi win against him. Ura, what can we say about Ura? Look, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, win, and he came into day 7, 6-0, and lost to Kotozakura. Then lost to Hoshoryu, then lost to everybody, basically, all the way up to day 15. And he finally got a win against Wakamoto Haru. Where did it all go wrong? Well, I don't know that we really know what's gone wrong there. He started with a very orthodox style and then seemingly on day 7 started to go back to what he knew best, which was his lower style, his a little bit unorthodox style. Yeah, I think unless you sat and had a conversation with Ura, you really wouldn't know what was going on in his head. Anyway, tonight he did get a win over Sekiwake Wakamoto Haru. Wakamoto Haru got a pretty good drive off the tachiai. Ura got a big double inside grip and drove him back over the bales. He got the arrows and the envelopes for tonight. Remember, the last night of the Basho, the last 3 fights, they get some special prizes that are more about encouragement and good luck. Our debutant Oshoma, Magashira 14, he finished with a double-digit win. He was in the race there for a little while. At 10 and 5, he is certainly in the race. A couple of losses, day 13 and day 14, took him out of it against Wakamoto Haru and Hoshoryu. Came up against some fairly intense Ozeki and Sekiwake quality. Both fights, fairly easy wins for those. He did get a win on day 15 against Kinbozan, and I think he picked himself up a special prize, which is a pretty good pay packet, apparently about $20,000 for a special prize trophy. Good luck to him. I will make special mention of our stickbug sumo, Najima, not so stickbug anymore, putting on some weight down in Jonadan 16. We've been following him because we like his style, we like the way he fights. He did post a makekoshi this time, 2 and 5. Unfortunately, he got a couple of good wins there. He did lose one. And look, if only I was this good of a human. Lost, went over the side with his opponent. They ended up in the channel next to the Oyakata judge and showed some pretty good sportsmanship there, smiling, made sure his opponent was okay. Bit of a hug, and they got up. That is the attitude that I like to see. Look, it is their job, their vocation. It is serious. They are competitive, but it costs nothing to be kind. Good on him. And a friend of mine is at his stable tonight, enjoying the party in Saitama, just outside of Tokyo. So I got a bit of a photo there, so I'm very happy about that. Look, that is the end of the May Basho. Join me again in the next couple of days. I have a special guest coming on in a couple of days. We're going to put an episode together. Goose from Salt City Sumo, which has just rebranded to Sunday Morning Sumo. They do the live commentary each day of the Basho. He's going to come on. We're going to talk a little bit about sumo, what we thought was our best fight, the better Kimarite, people who did well, people who flopped, and we'll exchange a few opinions. I hope you join me for that. It should be a little bit of fun, something different from my normal episodes. Hakioi listeners, join me again. Let's learn sumo.